Hi, I'm Chuck. I'd like to show you some of the POS features. The POS uses touchscreen technology that allows you to enter data into the computer by touching on the screen or using a mouse. Think of the touchscreen as a hot coal. You want to touch the screen lightly, then release quickly. The POS has a security feature that requires users to enter their ID prior to entering a transaction. Watch as I enter my ID. At the beginning of the day, before opening for business, enter your cash drawer balance into the POS. For $250, enter 250 and 2 more zeros. Otherwise, the system will assume that you mean $2.50. The first screen that appears on the POS is called the transaction screen. Now let's take a tour of the transaction screen. It includes the numeric keypad, quantity and price fields, a display screen for the entire transaction, and 3 function menus that bring up additional options: the Other button, the Special button, and the Discount button. The number keypad is used to enter numeric values such as your clerk ID, quantity, and price. The Times button is used to move the amount from the price field to the quantity field. The C button clears the entire entry. The CE button clears the entry which is underlined. The Void button deletes the transaction. The Apply button takes you to the Profit Center screen where you select the product or service that the customer is purchasing, such as color copies or office supplies. The Payment button accesses the tender screen. It is used upon completion of the sale to select the type of payment received from a customer. The Customer button accesses the customer information database. The Other, Special, and Discount buttons are pop-up menus that provide access to different register functions. Now that you're familiar with the transaction screen, it's time to practice a transaction.
You'll be surprised how easy it is to use the POS. Here's a customer now. I'll show you. Hi, Mark.
How are you?
Okay, how are you today?
Just fine.
Mark is one of our mailbox holders. Office supplies for you today, Mark?
These pens, please.
Sure. Watch as I enter the transaction. First, I enter my ID. Then I ask the customer for his zip code.
92109.
Enter it into the system. We track the customer's zip codes in order to identify where the primary customer base is located. Next, I enter the quantity of pens that Mark is purchasing. In this case, is 4. Notice that the quantity initially appears under the price column. Then I touch the Times button. Notice that the quantity has now moved to the left. I enter the price, $1.25, without the decimal point because it's entered automatically. I then touch the Apply button, and the Profit Center screen appears. Here I select Office Supplies. You'll notice that the display window shows office supplies and the amount of the sale. I've entered Mark's total purchase, so now I touch the Payment button. The POS is programmed so that the customer information screen pops up after the Payment button is pressed. This enables you to look up an existing customer or to enter a new customer's information. We will review the customer information screen later. To finish this transaction, touch on the calculator above Swap Tender. That'll be $5.39, please. Enter the amount tendered. Touch on OK, and then select the appropriate tender button, in this case, cash. The receipt appears on the screen and prints out at the same time. Wasn't that easy? Mark, will you be in tomorrow to check your mail?
I sure will.
Okay, I'll see you then. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Now I'm going to show you how to edit a transaction. Hi, how are you today?
Fine, how are you?
Great. First I enter my ID, then the customer's zip code.
92121.
My customer is purchasing 300 color copies at one notary. Let's start with the copies. I enter the quantity and the price, then touch on Apply. From the Profit Center screen, I touch on Color Copies. To enter the notary, I enter the price, $10 first. Notice that I don't have to enter the quantity because the default is 1. I review the yellow display window and notice that I made an entry error. I entered 350 color copies instead of the 300. To correct this, I touch twice on the color copies on the yellow area of the display window. Notice that the quantity and price appear on the top right hand of the screen. To clear the price and quantity, I touch on the C button. Now I re-enter the quantity and price correctly and then touch on Apply. I'll select Color Copies again from the Profit Center screen. If I had made an error entering the price, I would simply touch on the CE button to clear it and enter the correct price. I touch on Payment to finish the transaction. I appreciate that you stopped by today. Here is the brochure of other products and services that we offer. If you have the need, I can also laminate and bind your copies.
That's great. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Nancy. In this example, I'm going to show you how to discount a transaction. Let's assume that our customer has a 10% coupon for shipping services. The shipping charges total is $25. I enter my clerk ID and my customer's zip code, which I know from the PSO. I enter the price and touch on Apply. I then select Shipping Charges from the Profit Center screen. To discount this entire transaction, I touch on the Discount button and ensure that Total is selected. I enter 10, 00, and then touch on Percent. If I need to enter a dollar discount, I would enter the amount of the discount, then touch the dollar symbol. The discount pop-up menu automatically closes when you select the dollar or percent button. I touch on Payment, select my customer, and in this example, our customer is paying by check, so I touch on Check. Most MBE centers allow customers who have been approved to make their purchases on in-house account. The customer is approved by completing an on-account application. This application is then checked and verified by the center manager or franchisee. Hi Paula, how are you today?
Fine, Nancy, thank you.
Do you need this to arrive by 10:30 tomorrow?
Well, no, the day after tomorrow will be just fine. And I have a $3 coupon off a FedEx shipment.
Okay. By the way, Paula, we processed your in-house account application, and if you'd like, you can put your purchase today on the account.
That would be great, Nancy.
Do you need any office supplies or anything else today?
You know, I do need a few birthday cards. Let me go and take a look. Okay, I'm all set, Nancy.
Paula's shipping charges total $40. I enter my clerk ID, then her zip code, which I have from the PSO. Paula has a coupon for $3, so I touch on Discount, ensure that line item is selected, and enter 300, then touch the dollar button. The discount will be applied to the next item that I enter. I enter the price, $40, touch on Apply, then select Rapid Air on the Profit Center screen. Notice the discount has been applied. She also has 3 greeting cards, so I enter the quantity of 3, the price of $2.25, touch Apply. On the Profit Center screen, I touch on greeting cards. Then I touch on the Payment button. Because Paula is a new in-house charge customer, I need to add her into the customer database. I select New. Now I simply type in Paula's name, address, phone number, etc. Paula, may I please have your last name and mailing address?
Cook?
And your address?
1414 State Street.
After entering all the information, I touch on Save to ensure that the information remains in the database. The final step is to touch Select. Now I touch the On Account option. A message appears that reminds me to get Paula's signature for the in-house charge. I touch on Continue to finish the transaction. Now you're probably wondering what to do when your customer wants to pay on his or her in-house charge account. Let me show you. Enter your ID and the customer's zip code, then touch Apply. From the Profit Center screen, touch on Receive on Account. A number pad appears. This is where you enter the amount your customer is paying. Enter the amount, then touch on OK. Now we need to select the customer's name so the POS knows which account to credit. Search for your customer's name, then touch on Select. Once you select the customer, you are back to the transaction screen. Now, all you have to do is finish the transaction by selecting a payment option. I touch on Payment and select an option. The final transaction that we will complete together is an interrupted transaction. This feature allows you to put a transaction on hold in order to assist other customers. This is useful when your customer forgets her wallet or if she decides to look at other items after you have already started to process the transaction. Our customer is buying some retail shipping supplies. She has 1 bag of peanuts and 2 rolls of tape. Hi, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
I enter my ID and the customer's zip code.
92108.
Now I enter the price of the peanuts, touch on Apply, then select Retail Shipping Supplies. Now for the tape, I enter the quantity of 2, the price, touch on Apply, then select Retail Shipping Supplies. I touch on the Payment button. Have you visited our center before?
Yes, I have.
May I please have your name?
Rena Milstein.
I type M for Milstein and see that Miss Milstein has visited our center before. I touch on Select. Miss Milstein, your total is $9.56.
I'm so sorry. I must have left my wallet in the car. I'll be right back.
Okay, Miss Milstein. I touch on Exit to leave the payment screen, then select the Special menu at the bottom of the transaction screen. I touch on Finish Later. The Finish Later option will be replaced with Recall Trans when I open the Special menu again to complete the transaction. Notice the letters TP in the upper right-hand part of the screen. This indicates that there is a transaction pending.
Here we go. I'm sorry.
To finish her transaction, I enter my ID, then touch on the Special menu. From this menu, I select Recall Trans. All the information from the original transaction appears on the screen. Now, I simply select a payment option to finish the transaction. Thank you, Ms. Milstein.
You will find that the POS is easy to use and is an essential tool to operating and managing your MBE business. If you need assistance with the POS or have any questions about the information presented in this video, call MBE System Support.